When a prospect says the timing's not right, most salespeople do one of two things. They either leave the deal open and it clutters up their pipeline for months, or they mark the deal as lost and forget about it forever. There's a third option that most Pipedrive users never learn about. In automation, your salesperson will mark the deal as lost. Then the automation will bring the deal back to life at the optimal time. Let me show you how to build it. Now, the first thing you need to do for this automation is make sure you have lost reasons that are going to be specific for this automation. So you'll click on your icon in the top right-hand corner, then you'll go to company settings and then lost reasons. So I have this one, timing, keep in touch 3 months, and I also want to create one that is for 6 months later. So I'm going to save that. So now I have my 2 lost reasons that is going to create those duplicate deals at the right time. Then to set up this automation, you'll go to your automations and you'll go to create an automation from scratch. And here you want to use a date field match, or this is also sometimes called the date trigger. And you want to trigger this when the deal lost date, and then you're going to select after date and put in 90. So this is saying that 90 days after the deal is lost, I want to trigger something. So I'm going to apply that trigger. And now I need an instant condition, which is basically like a filter, because I only want this automation to continue if the specific 90-day lost reason is selected. So I'm going to say that the lost reason is, and then this one is going to be lost 3 months ago, and I'm going to apply that condition. And now I'm going to take my action. What I want to happen is I want the deal, which was lost 3 months ago, to be duplicated. And here in the search bar, I can type in duplicate, and then I select duplicate existing deal. And first things first, I'm going to select the deal from step 1. That's the deal that I want to duplicate. And I'm going to click apply action. Now, I want to update that duplicate deal that was created because I want to add some information about how this deal was created and link it back to the deal that it was duplicated from. So I'm going to do another action step and I'm going to update deal fields. The deal I want to update is the one from step 3, the one that is now the new deal that was duplicated. And under add fields, I need to select all of the fields that I want to update. And there are 2 that I definitely want to update. The status, because I want it to be open, not lost, like the one we just duplicated. And I also want to update the title because otherwise it's going to just say copy and it's kind of confusing. So I want the title to be the title from the original deal, but then I'm also going to add that this is the keep in touch 3 months later deal so that it's really easy to tell the 2 apart. So I'm going to apply this action. And then there are 2 other actions I want to take. One is I want to create a note. And I'm going to add this note to the deal. And in this note, I want to link to the original sales deal. So if we need to check any information on that deal, we can. So here I'll write. And then I want to get a link to a deal. So the format of deal links is always the same. So I'm going to remove the deal ID, which is unique here, and I'm going to just grab the base URL. And then here I'm going to add the deal ID from step 1. That is our original deal. So now I'm going to have a link to the original sales deal on the duplicate deal, which is the deal that we created in step 3. I want this floating up at the top of the deal, so I'm going to pin it to the deal and I'm going to say yes and then apply the action. And the last action I'm going to take is to create an activity because if a deal is just created in the pipeline, no one may know about it. So I want to make sure that there is an activity assigned to the deal owner to reach out and re-engage this prospect. So I'm going to update this form here. And then I need to add fields. So I want who this is assigned to. I want this also linked to the person, the deal, and the organization. So this will be the deal owner from the original deal. I'm going to link it to the duplicate as well as the organization of the duplicate and the person of the duplicate deal. Then I'm going to click Apply Action, cancel. I don't need any more steps. I'm going to give this automation a name. Then I'm going to save this automation and I'm going to make it active. But this is super important because of this trigger, because it is a date-based trigger. I cannot turn this automation on for everyone at the company. I can only turn it on for myself. So if you want this automation to be on for all users at your company, there are a couple more steps that you need to take. Also, you need to duplicate and update this automation so that it will work for your other 6-month lost reason. And I'm going to cover both of those things next. If you're brand new to Pipedrive and you want to try it out for a full 30 days for free, sign up using my partner link, which I've included in the description below. If you want me to request a trial extension on your behalf, fill out the trial extension request form, which I've also linked in the description below. So that form is really easy to find. I've also added it as a pinned comment, so you should see it right at the top of the comment section. Also, if you're finding this walkthrough helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get back to the demo. The first thing I want to do here is duplicate this automation so that it works for the 6-month later keep in touch lost reason. So I'm going to update the title. And then the first step, I'm going to change this from 90 to 180 days. In the second step, I want to change the lost reason from the 3-month, to the 6-month lost reason. In step 4, I want to update the title to be 6 months later. And in the activity, I want this to also say 6 months later rather than 3. So I'm going to save all of those changes. And then again, I'm going to make this automation active. So now this automation is active, but it is only active if I trigger the automation. And I want any user at my company to be able to trigger this automation. But because it is a date-based trigger, I have to have each user at my company individually turn this automation on for themselves. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add all users to these automations. So both the 3-month and the 6 months automation. And now when Michael logs in, that's the user I've added, he needs to go and turn those automations on. So I'm going to log out here and log in as Michael to walk you through those steps. So I'm now logged in as Michael and I'm going to go to automations. And under the automations tab, he's going to see these 2 new automations that were shared with him. If he toggles these to active, now they are on for him as well as for me. And I can see here that they are activated for all of the users with whom they have been shared. Now, finally, it wouldn't be a demo if you couldn't see if the automation actually worked, right? So I'm going to head over to activities, and here I'm looking at activities assigned to Liz that are due today, and I see this activity to reach out to keep in touch 3 months later prospect on this deal, 831 Magnolia Avenue. So I'm going to click to open up this deal, and here I can see there's a pinned note and that is linking to a deal. So I'm going to open up that in a new tab here, and I have this activity to reach out. And then down here under the history, I can also see that this deal was created from my automation here. So if I click to open up that, I'm going to see here the original lost deals. So the lost time being 90 days ago, and that lost reason being the 3 months later keep in touch. The automation run then is here, and so I can see that this is what triggered to create my duplicate deal. And just like that, you've created 2 automations that keep your pipeline organized with the highest priority deals, while also ensuring you have an automated way to reach back out to prospects who want to buy from you at a later date. If you need help troubleshooting this or any other automation you've built in Pipedrive or Zapier, leave a comment. I'd be more than happy to help you get unstuck. Or if you want live one-on-one support, you can book a working session with me using the link included in the description below. As always, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when I drop more content like this, click to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.